Hello and welcome to episode 382 of the Daily Sales Message podcast, where every single day I share a piece of simple and actionable advice that's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff. I talk really quickly too, so hopefully you can keep up with me because, I get all excited talking about what I do. I'm not nervous, I'm just excited. I love talking about this stuff all day long, and you can tell because episode 382, I've had 382 episodes of this podcast. I got a lot to talk about, a lot to cram in. Right, in today's episode, we're talking about being too positive, and this is a telling off episode. Being too positive. When you're trying to sell to somebody, they need to be in control of the buying decision. Your role is to give them the information and the opportunity they need to make the best decision for themselves. That's it. Information and opportunity. They make the decision for themselves. They're in control. You can't coerce them. You can't convince or persuade them. Any of this kind of stuff. Here is what we offer. Here's a problem you've got. I think it can really help. Would you like to work with us? What do you think about that? That's it. Information, opportunity. If you're too positive about your own offering or the client themselves or anything else, it gets a little bit much. It's a little bit like overselling, or you get a little bit sycophantic where you're talking to somebody and they go, oh yeah, well, we're thinking about it. Oh, you're thinking about doing that? Oh God, yeah, that's great, blah, blah, blah. And then we had this problem. Oh no, you had that problem. Oh God, you're so strong and brave and wise for dealing with that problem. Some people feel like, and there's some sales training out there where they say, you have to agree with everything your client says. And I really take an issue with that. Really do. Like, I get the sentiment of agreeing with your buyer because you don't want to cause a problem. You don't want to have an actual confrontation with somebody you're trying to sell to. That's not great. But you can't just blindly agree with people and just be behind them just like a clapping. So like, oh, James, you're so brilliant. Okay, can you buy from us now? That's great. And if you've done this, where you're in the company of somebody, you're just smiling you're laughing at their jokes, which are terrible. You're smiling at them. You're agreeing to things and giving opinions that aren't really yours. You're just trying to be nice, overly nice. Now, my advice is not to be nasty to people. Let me stop you there. My advice is not to be nasty to people, but you've got to stay true to who you are. So if you're not really keen on something that they're doing, then you don't have to say, oh, I don't like that. You just keep your mouth shut. That's it. So rather than just morphing like a comedian, oh, great. Yeah, I love all this stuff. Isn't this great, James? You want to buy from us? When they tell you something, oh, that's really interesting. And that's it. You just put a lid on it. By being like overly nice and overly pleasant and overly people-pleasy, which is probably a term, the buyer has less confidence in you, less faith, less trust, because they just see you as kind of being the weaker person. If your offering was really as good as it's supposed to be, why would you need to be so kind of people-pleasy and inferior to them in the conversation? You wouldn't, would you? If your offering was really good and you believed in it, you'd be like, well, here's our offering. I'd love to work with you. What do you think, James? You don't want to do it? No problem at all. Thanks ever so much. Nice to meet you. There we go. That's the kind of behavior that you would have. Not, oh, God, trying to smooth things over, talking really quickly, filling all the silences with pleasantries. So that's it for this telling off edition. Try not to be overly nice to your buyer. And when you're doing it. When you're being kind of in the world of being a sycophantic, where you're like, you've become their biggest fan. You're in their fan club, clapping, laughing at their jokes, smiling, etc. It's all a bit too much. Your job is two things: information, opportunity. That's it. Here is our offering. I know that's a problem you've got, and we can definitely solve it for you. Here's our offering. Would you like to do it? Yes or no? That's it. That's how you sell. Information and opportunity. It's not as easy as that, but it is as simple as that. Information, opportunity. You don't need to worry about pleasantries and niceties and being too positive. Right, that's it for this episode of the podcast. Tomorrow in episode 383, I'm going to talk about the cure for rejection. When you get rejected by people that you're trying to sell to, it stings, it hurts, it sucks. I've been there. We've all been there. There is one thing that can cure it for you, and I'm going to share it with you in tomorrow's episode. So tune in for that. In the meantime, hop on over to LinkedIn and find me there. James Newell, Clear Sales Message. Connect with me, shoot me a DM, let me know what you like about the podcast. And thank you for listening or watching all the way to the end. I do appreciate it. I'll catch you tomorrow for another exciting and less telling off edition of the Daily Sales Message.